Jalen Brunson took a discount but still signed a massive extension with the New York Knicks. Now, I'm not going to talk about the money and the extension and all that because we know how great of a player Jalen Brunson is, and we know how much the salary cap is going up in the NBA, especially with these new TV media rights deals coming in. We all know role players and star players in the NBA are making more than ever. But I want to talk about Jalen Brunson's impact specifically on the New York Knicks organization. Because my whole life, the Knicks obviously back in the 80s and 90s were a cornerstone franchise. It's why Madison Square Garden was named the Mecca, the most prestige venue in all of sports. But for my whole lifetime, ever since 1998, when I was born, and again for most of my years watching the NBA, which I started watching in 2007, the Knicks, maybe besides a year when Carmelo Anthony and Amadi Stoudemire and Chauncey Billups all came to town, and the Knicks were supposed to be the next big thing, and that flopped on their face, the Knicks have been a disaster of a franchise. And I've came on here many times and said my disdain for the New York Knicks because people try to put them up like they are basketball's America's team, like they are the Dallas Cowboys, like they have this big brand, like Madison Square Garden was so special. And I never got the allure of that outside of the annoying Spike Lee because I don't care how special a building, I don't care how special an arena, a stadium is. It's not as special when the team is not good. And Jalen Brunson, who obviously started as a second round pick, started on the Dallas Mavericks, was on the Luka Doncic team that made the Western Conference Finals a few years ago when they matched up there against the Golden State Warriors. And they ended up getting swept in that series. Jalen Brunson was a big deal in that game 7 against the number one seeded Phoenix Suns team. But Jalen Brunson and Luka Doncic's style were very similar. It did not feel like it was going to work. But when the New York Knicks paid Jalen Brunson, it felt like a mistake. And, not only has it not been a mistake, it's been the catalyst to the New York Knicks turning it around between Jalen Brunson and Tom Thibodeau, who is an old school defensive mind, grind it out, play your guys 40, 45 minutes a night in meaningless November regular season games. Jalen Brunson, in my opinion, embodies what it means to not only play for Tom Thibodeau, but to be a New York Knick. Toughness, heart, desire, the ability to play defense, the ability to, play multiple minutes against multiple guys and not get tired, and the will to score. And he's an unselfish player, I think, is the thing. At his height, he's one of the smaller guards in the NBA, but the way he can finish and the way that he can pass and the way that he can go on a hot streak, he is a true superstar player. And again, he brought the Knicks essentially out of the basement in the NBA to being a second round team the past few seasons. And this year, if he and others didn't get hurt, you can make an argument the New York Knicks, who entered in these NBA playoffs, the number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference after missing the postseason 2 years ago and being the number 5 seed a year ago and dispatching of the Cleveland Cavaliers before they met the Miami Heat in round 2. And again, they just didn't have enough bodies in the shooting, which they tried to do a little bit this offseason. And spoiler, we're on Thursday. I'm going to be going over my top 10 duos in the NBA. Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges do make that list because now they finally do have shooting in Mikal Bridges this offseason. But the Knicks would not be this relevant. The Knicks would not be making the moves that they have currently made to get themselves in position to compete with the Boston Celtics for the Eastern Conference crown if it wasn't for Jalen Brunson. It's a phenomenal story of, again, a guy on Dallas who seemingly fell out of Jason Kidd's rotation, did not get along well with Luka, did not get a lot of playing time, went to New York to be the star, and we've seen this happen year in, year out in the NBA. Number 2s or number 3s get paid to be number 1s, and they cannot live up to the hype. That cannot be what's true when it comes to Jalen Brunson. This is one of the best contracts I think that the Knicks have done in franchise history, and maybe for the first time since Patrick Ewing. Because I don't buy the 3-week insanity. I don't buy the Carmelo hype. Obviously, again, as I mentioned, Linsanity was fun for 3 weeks to a month, then it died off. Carmelo he went to the Knicks for money and bag and to be famous and whatever. They never really felt like a true serious team. You put some more pieces around this New York Knicks team, and for the first time in 2 decades, they are legitimate NBA Finals contenders. And Madison Square Garden feels big again. And when the Knicks are legitimately good, as we could tell by ESPN's coverage of the NBA, semifinal game with the Indiana Pacers when it came to Game 7, when the Knicks are good, it's good for the week. And when Madison Square Garden is good, it makes every other event in Madison Square Garden feel special. It makes, the New York Knicks brand, which again is as big of a brand as the Los Angeles Lakers, as the Chicago Bulls. And with those two franchises as dumpster fires, I actually think for a Knicks team that is obviously built on toughness and heart, it's not me guys, it's we guys. And Jalen Brunson has made this New York Knicks team something I never thought would be possible, likable. Not only among the local folks in New York, but I think nationally, Jalen Brunson is an underdog story that the country can believe in. And I think that is very important. So shout out to Jalen Brunson and this meteoric rise. Good for him for getting that contract extension. And I think the Knicks are on the right path and I'm not going to say they're going to get to the finals, but could they in the next few years? Absolutely.
Like that clip from the Brand's World podcast? If so, make sure you go down there and hit that subscribe button. While you're down there hitting the subscribe button, make sure to also hit the notification bell so you never miss another upload. And make sure you check out all the other clips from the Brand's World podcast right here on YouTube.